Hi everyone, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard with a review of the new Terrence Malick film, Knight of Cups. Okay, you know there's always a fine line between reviewing a film. What am I trying to say? A lot of people, nobody sets out to make a bad movie. If you look at Knight of Cups, first of all, from an artistic point of view, like the director and writer, Terrence Malick, is an artist. Art is in the eye of the beholder. Let's look at this. Let's just start with Knight of the Cups as art. First of all, it stars Christian Bale, and he's a screenwriter in Los Angeles, and the movie is about him reminiscing about his past loves and relationships, his efforts to be a screenwriter and inside the industry, and so that's the setting. The setting is Christian Bale, going through all of these different, I don't know if you can call it flashbacks. Anyway, so Christian Bale stars in there. Terrence Malick is not known for movies that are conventional. So on one side, let's look at Terrence Malick, the artist. He makes a film that's Knight of Cups, that isn't conventional, that's experimental, it's all handheld. There's no language of film, and what I mean by language, if you look at a scene that's constructed, you have the master shot, you have the close-up, the extreme close-up, you have over-the-shoulder. So when you shoot a scene, it's called coverage. They shoot a scene where they get all the different angles, and then you cut a piece together. Well, Terrence Malick doesn't do that in this movie. So after the first 10-15 minutes of seeing this film, you kind of understand, well, wait a minute, this is not a conventional film at all. This has this narration that whispers in your ear. You see these abstract images. You see all these metaphors. You see all of these things that Terrence Malick is trying to communicate to you in 2 hours.
I remember arriving on set, and I was asking anyone I could find, who am I? What character? Do you know anything about my character? They're like, we have no idea. We have no idea. None of us know. You'll just speak to Terry, and then you'll know what you're doing.
Now, on one hand, I appreciate what he's trying to doing. I respect the artist. I respect his vision. I respect how he's making this film. You know, it's visionary. It's something that he obviously feels very close to, and it's how he wants to convey it and how he wants to express himself. It's an expensive expressing himself, I assume. And it's not even a big budget studio. I can't even remember what the studio was. Okay, so that's on one side. Now let's look at the commercial. If it even's supposed to be commercial, if you're making a big budget, not a big budget, if you're making a movie that costs as much as this has, you have Christian Bale and Brian Dennehy and all these other stars in it who literally don't have dialogue. There's no scenes that interact. It's like, this is one of these movies that's hard to explain because you have to experience it.
With this, there was no script at all. He was creating possibilities for stories about this character.
I can't remember a man I wanted to be.
So we talked about the artistic side of Terrence Malick and Knight of Cups. Now let's talk about the commercial side of it. If I was trying to tell somebody what this movie was about, if people say, hey, do you recommend this movie? Do you have to? I would say no, because it's not, the average moviegoer is not going to go into this movie and come out saying, wow, that was a unique experience, that was exciting. They want a story. American audiences want stories. They want them conventional, meaning they want them spoon-fed to them, beginning, middle, and end, coverage, it's what they're used to. So I think this movie, remember Tree of Life? Did you see Tree of Life? It's basically that to the next level. That kind of abstracts, and that was his vision of the world and how everyone, oh my gosh, Tree of Life. I've never really been a fan of Terrence Malick's in terms of they're great movies, but I respect that he keeps getting these films made. You know, we're going to look back 30, 40 years from now and just think, wow, Terrence Malick was a genius. He's going to have a huge cult following. Unfortunately, the press screening that I saw this morning, critics were leaving. I stayed an hour and a half, okay? I stayed an hour and a half of a 2-hour movie to where there was so much, those voices that I told you that are doing the narration, they're whispers and they're here and there. I started to kind of lose it. I know it's weird. I started thinking that I was hearing those voices in my head, not coming from a movie. So there were so many abstract cuts and images, and I started playing, it was like a travelogue to Los Angeles. I said, oh, there's the Standard Hotel. Oh, there's that Mel's Drive-In that I go to all the time. There on Sunset. I just started, I told myself after an hour and a half, the next landmark that I recognize, I'm leaving, and it was Venice Beach. Some of the critics that stayed goes, you missed it. There was a Vegas scene. You missed just as they left. There was a Vegas part coming on. So I said, look, was there anything in the last 15 or 20 minutes that was completely revelational, that was going to change my mind about this movie? No. So you're asking yourself right now, Jeff, what do you think of Knights of Cups? Well, on one hand, I think it's an interesting film in terms of the director and what he was trying to say, and it's unconventional, experimental, all of that. I applaud him. Then you have the other side as me, as a critic, telling you commercially to pay your money for a movie like this. Will it satisfy you? Will you come out going, that was a good movie or that was a good experience? No. It is such a small... I don't even know who's going to see this movie. I don't even know how to describe it. I think if I recommended this movie to the average person, they would come back and demand their money back from me. So it was a very frustrating experience. Enlightening, frustrating. This is one of the most complicated reviews I've ever done because it's such... I don't know what to think. Maybe is this a movie I'm supposed to think about for a week? Is this a movie I'm supposed to see it again? Was it self-indulgent? Was it something that, years from now they're going to praise? I don't know, folks. I really don't know. I'm going with my gut reaction because I'm taking the interpretation that Knight of Cups is art. Straightforward there. So I'm looking in a gallery, I'm reading a book or whatever. I'm treating this like art. I may not know art, but I know what I like. Okay, have you heard that expression? I didn't like this. Oh my God, what am I saying? Damn you, Terrence Malick! Oh my gosh, Knight of Cups. On one hand I'm going, give me a break. On the other hand I'm going, wow, this guy is doing what he loves, I guess. I don't know. This is a very complicated. So overall, I'm sorry. I have to give it a lower grade than... I'm giving it 2 grades. That's what I'm doing. First time in my life I'm giving it 2 grades. One for the artistic endeavor, and the second for the mainstream, kind of movie, which you can't even argue that's what it's about. Am I rambling? Am I rambling here? I think I am. It's not a mainstream movie, but it's an artistic movie. Oh, even the studio even called me today after the movie and said, Jeff, we know you were there and we heard you walked out. I go, yeah, I walked out, but I gave it an hour and a friggin' half. I gave it a good chunk to get a good idea of what's going on. And I but I discussed it with the rep for a good 10 minutes. And I go, did you see this movie? He goes, yeah, I saw it, a couple months ago. I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. Please comment below. I'd love for you that have seen this movie, please comment below and let me know what you think. Send me an email. Hell, we'll even Skype or do something like that. I did that with Risen and The Witch. Man, people are going crazy talking to me about that. Here's another one of those movies that, what the hell's going on? Knight of Cups? I'm Jeffrey K. Howard. Check out my website, vegasfilmcritic.com, for more reviews and interviews. And also, thumbs up, comment, subscribe. This is a difficult one, folks. Seatbelts. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard. I'll see you next time. What the hell was that movie about?